One of the problems with the recent changes in work environment where people are working from home a lot more due to COVID is the lack of team building spirit, which in turn result in less loyalty from your team. In other words, people are far more likely to move from job to job because of that lack of team spirit. So today we're going to discuss ways of maintaining a better team spirit within your organization. My name is Jean-Guy Talbot. What we discuss on this channel are ways to improve your practice, increase your profitability, and regaining control of your own practice and having a better work-life balance. One of the things that I think we've done extremely well at my firm of Talbot & Associates is building a team spirit that is second to none. And that to me is extremely important in building an organization, because we keep talking about good client servicing and all that, but that really comes from having a good, strong team. And you're going to find that your clients are best served if everybody on the team is really on the same page, loves working together, and you've got this team spirit. But part of building a team spirit, most of the time, relates to working together. So that's why at Talbot & Associates, we always encourage people to work from the office rather than from home. And one of the reasons for that is there's something that happens when you're face-to-face. And the other thing is the whole little things that we do amongst each other, like shooting a rubber band at each other, that makes it a more fun environment to work at. But you also probably notice it's pretty hard to shoot a rubber band at someone who's working out of their home. And I can shoot a rubber band at this camera all I want, but it's not the same. Ooh, drep dessus. In order to build a team spirit when people are working from different offices requires a little bit more finesse and challenges that you need to work through. So what I'm going to share with you are a few ideas on how you can continue building a team spirit despite people working from other locations or from home. Now, one of the challenges of people working from home is that they'll usually not dress in the same way. So it's not uncommon to hear people talk about, I love working from home because I can just go down in my pajamas and work in my pajamas. But I think there might be a little bit more to it than that. Getting dressed up, I think, results in people putting out work maybe a little bit better because they're dressed the part. The other thing that's important when you have people working from different places is communication. One of the strategies that we've used is internal newsletters, to have newsletters where we report all the things that are happening between us. So we make sure that everybody who's at the office or out of the office are on the same page of all the things that are happening. So to increase communications in other format that we're not used to doing. So this internal newsletter that we produce on a regular basis at our office, there's a couple of things that we try to tackle in that. One is to provide news of each different offices. So at Talbot & Associates, we have 7 offices. So every office reports the news from their office, new employees, new equipment, new clients, and things like that. But we go one step further, is we ask that each office reports news as it relates to their team. So talk about if they got engaged, if they moved to a new house, if they got a new dog, whatever. It's just to make everybody aware of what other people within the firm are living. And so to share some of the more personal things that people would normally share around the coffee pot. The other thing that I recommend is team meetings, even by Zoom, which is not as good as having them all together in the same room. But to encourage people to have team meetings with their cameras on so we can actually see everybody and everybody can communicate with each other, because there's still an important to seeing other people's faces. Now, if you're not convinced that all this team spirit thing is all that important, think about the loyalty that people have towards their employer. I cannot tell you how many times I've had people come into my office and tell me that they've been offered a position elsewhere that pays more than we did. And the reason they were not leaving is because of the camaraderie that they had built in our office, the friendships and all of that. Now, if everybody works from their own home, what's tying them down to your job? And so now becomes the challenge of creating that environment where they don't want to leave. And it's not about the money that's keeping them at your place, but the camaraderie and the flexibility and all of that. So it's important that you work really hard at finding ways to bring your team together despite where they might be scattered all over the province or the country. So what I'd be curious to know is we've developed several strategies on team building, but I'd be really interested to know is what other people are doing. So at your firm or at your business, what are you guys doing to help keep the bond between employees strong over the years? Oeh, drep dessus.